Hello, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Ask the HR Expert. My name is Katie Stewart, and I am with Tandem HR. So today's question is, what are the new requirements for harassment training in the state of Illinois? So if you do business in the state of Illinois, hopefully by now you have heard that there are new regulations that require Illinois employers to now provide sexual harassment prevention training to all employees annually. So prior to this, there was no regulation requiring this on a consistent basis necessarily. It was more so a recommendation to be provided once every 2 years. So the new regulation also changes the number of employees that an employer has to have to fall under this regulation. So previously, an employer had to have 20 or more employees to be covered under the law that has been amended. And now, any Illinois employer with one or more employee, and this also includes contractors, now has to comply with the law. So annual training is the biggest thing that you need to be remembering, and this does go into effect as of January 1st, 2020. There are also some other requirements that come along with the type of training. This training can be done online or in person, but it does have to be interactive. So the employee can't just sit there and click through a PowerPoint presentation. It needs to be asking them questions and making sure that they're really retaining and understanding the information. It also needs to provide examples of what sexual harassment looks like in the workplace. And then there's two other requirements. It needs to summarize the federal and state laws that restrict or prevent sexual harassment in the workplace. And then finally, it needs to define what the employer's responsibilities are under the law and what those policies are within your workplace. Now, if you fail to comply with this, there are penalties under the law as well, and those penalties range from about $500 to $5,000 per violation, depending on the size of your organization. Now, bars and restaurants and casinos and hotels have different requirements under the law, so if you are in those industries, make sure that you're looking up to see what you need to be focusing on specifically. And other big area that this law changes is the definition of discrimination. So this now expands the definition to include discrimination and harassment based on an individual's actual or perceived sex, race, or other protected status. So Illinois is not the only state that's making changes in these areas. So if you are doing business in other areas, make sure that you are talking to your HR department or your compliance counsel to make sure that you are training all of your employees and remaining compliant with your policies. As always, thank you again for joining me. And if you have any questions, please reach out to Tandem HR. Thank you.